hold on, don't scroll past this. That small coin in your hand, the one you almost ignored, might be trying to tell you something. Look closely at it. That if you have a 1979 penny, especially one like this, you could be holding on to something far more valuable than just 1 cent. But here's the strange part. Most people spend it without even looking. Let me tell you a quick story to a man in Ohio, retired mid-60s, was cleaning out an old drawer. Nothing special. Old receipts, keys, loose change. The kind of stuff we all forget. He almost tossed the coins into a jar, but one penny caught his eye. Same design you see here. The face of Abraham Lincoln. The word liberty. The date, 1979. He paused. Something felt off, and that pause, it changed everything. Now, before you think every 1979 penny is worth a fortune, let's slow down. Most are still just 1 cent, but some are not. And the difference between an ordinary coin and a valuable one, it's often something tiny, something easy to miss, something most people never even notice. Here's where things get interesting. In 1979, millions, actually billions, of pennies were made. So why would any of them be valuable? Simple. Mistakes. Yes, mistakes. Coins aren't always perfect. Even the U.S. Mint makes errors. And when they do, collectors pay attention. Big attention. Because a mistake on a coin? That's like printing money twice. Now imagine this, that you're holding a 1979 penny. Looks normal. Feels normal. But hidden in that small copper surface is an error that makes it worth $50, $100, maybe even more. Would you know what to look for? Most people wouldn't. Let's break it down in a simple way. First, look at the date. 1979. Now look just below IT.D. Oh, you see a tiny letter, D, or maybe nothing at all. That's small. Letter tells you where the coin was made. And sometimes that matters more than the coin itself. Here's something many people don't realize. Coins from different mints can have slight differences, and sometimes those differences turn into value, especially when something goes wrong during production. Now let me show you a mistake that collectors love. It's called a double die. Sounds technical, but it's simple. That IT means the coin was stamped twice, but slightly off. The result? Letters and numbers look blurry or doubled. Picture this. You look at the word liberty, but instead of clean letters, you see shadows, slight doubling. Almost like your eyes are playing tricks on you, but they're not. That's a real error. And that error can turn a penny into something worth serious money. But wait, there's another twist. Some 1979 pennies were struck off center. That means the design isn't perfectly in the middle. Part of the coin might look cut off, or shifted. Now, most people would think that's damage, that they'd throw it away. But collectors, they see value because mistakes like that are rare. Let's pause for a second. Think about how many times you've handled coins. How many pennies have passed through your hands? Hundreds? Thousands? And how many times did you really look at them? Probably not often. That's exactly why valuable coins slip through unnoticed. Now here's where regret comes in. There are people who have spent rare coins without realizing it. They bought coffee, paid for parking, dropped them into vending machines. Gone. Forever. And here's the part that stings. Some of those coins were worth far more than what they spent. But don't worry, you're here now. And that means you still have a chance. Let's go deeper. Condition matters a lot. A shiny, clean 1979 penny. That's more attractive to collectors if it looks almost new. Even after all these years, it could be worth more. We call that uncirculated. It means the coin hasn't been worn down by years of use. Now, imagine two pennies, same year, same design. Point one is scratched, dull, faded. The other, bright, sharp, almost perfect. Which one do you think a collector wants? Exactly. But here's something unexpected. Sometimes, even worn coins can be valuable if the error is strong enough. That if the mistake is obvious, collectors will still pay. Let me give you another example that a woman in Texas found a penny in her late husband's coin jar. She almost ignored it, but she noticed something odd about the lettering that IT looked thicker, stronger. She had it checked. IT turned out to be a rare variation. She sold it for over $80 not. Life-changing money. But for 1 penny, that's incredible. Now I want you to do something. Right now, that if you have coins nearby, grab them. Yes, seriously. Take a look, because what I'm about to tell you next might change how you see them forever. Look at the surface of your 1979 penny.d. Oh, you see any cracks? Lines? Raised bumps? These could be die cracks, another type of mint error, another chance at value. And here's something even more subtle. The weight. Yes, the weight. Most pennies from that era are made of copper, but if something unusual happened during production, the weight might be slightly off. And that difference, collectors notice. Now you might be thinking this sounds complicated. It's not that IT just takes attention but a little patience and curiosity. Because here's the truth. Valuable coins aren't just found by experts. They're found by ordinary people. People like you. People who took a second look. But let me warn you about something. Not every weird coin is valuable. Some are just damaged, scratched, bent, altered after leaving the mint. And those usually aren't worth more than face value. So how do you tell the difference? Here's a simple rule. Mint errors happen during production. Damage happens after. If the coin looks naturally flawed, smooth, consistent, it might be an error. If it looks rough or forced, it's probably damage. Now let's build a little suspense here, because there's one more thing, and this is where people often get surprised. Some 1979 pennies are valuable simply because of how rare they are in high condition, not because of errors. Just because very few survived in perfect shape. Imagine that a coin becomes valuable, not because something went wrong, but because everything went right. And collectors, they love perfection, sharp details, clean surfaces no scratches and awarded so here's the big question. What do you do if you think you found something special? First, don't clean it. I know it's tempting. You want it to look shiny, but cleaning can actually lower its value. Collectors prefer coins in original condition, even if they look a little aged. Second, store it safely. Use a small holder. Keep it dry. Avoid touching the surface too much. Third, get it checked today. Local coin dealer. Or a professional grading service. They can tell you exactly what you have. Now let's bring it all together. That small 1979 penny, it might just be 1 cent, or it might be something more. A hidden error. A rare condition. A small piece of history with unexpected value. And the only difference between those two possibilities is whether you take a closer look. Because most people won't. They'll spend it, forget it, move on. But not you. Not anymore. So tonight, before you go to bed, check your coins. Look for that 1979 penny. Examine it carefully. Because who knows? You might just find something that others missed.